For nearly 6 decades, Star Trek has stood as one of the most influential shows in television history, a symbol of exploration, diversity, and imagination. And at the very heart of that universe was William Shatner, the man who brought Captain James T. Kirk to life. Now, at 94 years old, Shatner is finally opening up about what really went on behind the scenes, the rivalries, the challenges, and the truths that shaped one of the most beloved franchises in pop culture. When Star Trek first aired in 1966, it wasn't an overnight success. In fact, the show struggled in ratings and was even canceled after 3 seasons. But what it lacked in early viewership, it made up for in groundbreaking ideas, a vision of the future where humanity had overcome war, racism, and division. At the helm of that dream was Shatner's Captain Kirk, confident, daring, and endlessly charismatic. Yet, behind the smile and the swagger, Shatner was facing intense pressure. He was the face of the series, working grueling hours under tight budgets, with frequent creative clashes behind the camera. In a recent interview, Shatner reflected, "We were making history without realizing it, but honestly, we were just trying to survive each week." As Star Trek grew in popularity, rumors of tension among the cast began to circulate, and Shatner now admits that some of those stories were true. "Yes, there were conflicts," he said candidly. "We were a family, but not always a happy one." One of the most talked about feuds was between Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, who played the iconic Spock. The two men often disagreed about screen time and creative decisions, and their working relationship could be difficult. However, over time, what began as rivalry turned into genuine friendship and mutual respect. "Leonard and I didn't always get along," Shatner confessed. "But I came to realize he was one of the finest men I ever knew." Other cast members, like George Takei, have publicly spoken about their rocky relationship with Shatner, something he now looks back on with regret. "I was young, ambitious, and probably too focused on my work," he admitted. "If I made people feel left out, I'm sorry for that." Despite the behind-the-scenes drama, the chemistry on screen helped Star Trek become a global sensation, inspiring generations of scientists, dreamers, and storytellers, even after Star Trek ended. Shatner's legacy continued to grow. He became a cultural icon, appearing in films, writing books, and embracing his role as an ambassador for science and space exploration. Then, in 2021, life imitated art when Shatner actually traveled to space aboard Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin rocket, becoming the oldest person ever to do so. The experience left him profoundly moved. "When I looked down at Earth," he said, "I didn't feel joy. I felt sorrow for how fragile this planet is." Now, at 94, Shatner's reflections on Star Trek aren't just about old rivalries or fame. They're about growth, forgiveness, and legacy.
He's no longer just Captain Kirk.
He's a man who truly lived the dream of exploring new worlds, both on screen and in reality. His story reminds us that even legends are human, shaped by ambition, flaws, and the courage to keep moving forward. William Shatner's journey proves that the real frontier isn't space, it's life itself.